as a visiting player, I just don't think his retirement is here, only because he's super productive still at this stage in his career, and he's getting the opportunity to play with his son, which is obviously they come into the games together. That's a unique situation. So all of the things that point to one more year are happening. If he hits production.
Charles Barkley just revealed something about LeBron James that nobody saw coming, and it has everything to do with his future in LA. The Inside the NBA legend didn't hold back when he dropped this bombshell on live television, and what he said has the entire basketball world questioning everything we thought we knew about King James's next move. This isn't speculation anymore. This is coming straight from someone who knows the game, knows LeBron, and knows exactly what's happening behind closed doors. And trust me, you're not ready for this. It was just another night of Inside the NBA. The crew was analyzing games, throwing jokes around, doing what they do best. But then Charles Barkley said something that made everyone stop and pay attention. When the conversation shifted to LeBron James and his current situation, Chuck didn't dance around it. He went straight for the jugular. "Look, I'm just being honest here," Barkley said, leaning back in his chair with that signature confidence. "LeBron's situation right now, it's not what people think it is, and I'm telling you, his future in LA might not be as secure as everyone believes." The studio went quiet for a second. Shaq raised his eyebrows. Kenny Smith leaned forward. Even Ernie Johnson seemed caught off guard. Because when Charles Barkley makes a statement like that about the biggest name in basketball, you know something's up. But Barkley wasn't done. He continued, "I've been hearing things that aren't out in the media yet. And let me tell you, if what I'm hearing is true, we might be looking at a situation nobody saw coming. LeBron's been in this position before, and we all know how that story ends." Now, let's be clear about something. Charles Barkley isn't some random talking head trying to get clicks. This is a Hall of Famer, an NBA legend who's been around the league for decades. He has connections. He talks to players, coaches, front office executives. When he says he's hearing things, that means something. This isn't baseless speculation. This is someone with insider knowledge dropping hints that the rest of us are just now starting to piece together. So what exactly did Barkley hear? What's really going on with LeBron in LA? And why is one of the most respected voices in basketball willing to go on national television and essentially predict that King James might be on his way out? The stakes here couldn't be higher. We're talking about LeBron James, the man who's changed teams before and made it work. The guy who left Cleveland, won championships in Miami, went back to Cleveland and delivered on his promise, then headed west to LA to cement his legacy even further. But now, at this stage of his career, with everything he's accomplished, could he really be considering another move? And here's what makes this even more explosive. The team hasn't said anything. LeBron hasn't addressed it directly. The front office is staying quiet. But the silence? That's almost more telling than any statement could be. Because in today's NBA, if a rumor this big was completely false, it would be shut down immediately. The fact that nobody's denying it, that's raising red flags everywhere.
I know, a lot of our conversations about why he could probably expand on this, but why he's still doing this, at age 41 and in his 23rd season, he loves the challenge of it, and he loves new challenges. And so I think what we've tried to do as a coaching staff.
Let's break down exactly what Charles Barkley said and what he was really getting at. Because if you know Chuck, you know he doesn't just throw statements out there without reason. Every word was calculated. Every pause was intentional. When Barkley mentioned that LeBron's future might not be as secure as everyone believes, he wasn't talking about LeBron's ability on the court. We all know King James can still ball. At 40 years old, the man is still putting up numbers that would make players half his age jealous. So this isn't about his performance. This is about something deeper, something more complex. The key phrase Barkley used was, "I've been hearing things." In NBA circles, that's code. That means real conversations are happening behind the scenes. That means agents are making calls, executives are having meetings, and scenarios are being explored that the public doesn't know about yet. And then there's the way he said it, the tone, the body language. Barkley wasn't smiling when he made these comments. He wasn't joking around like he usually does. This was serious Chuck. This was the Chuck who's seen it all, who knows how this business works, and who's watched LeBron navigate this exact situation multiple times before. "We all know how that story ends," Barkley said. Think about that line for a second. What story is he referring to? Cleveland the first time, Miami, Cleveland again. Every time LeBron felt like the situation wasn't right, every time he sensed that the team couldn't give him what he needed to compete for championships, he made a move. And every single time, people were shocked. Every single time, there were rumors beforehand that got dismissed as noise, until they weren't. Here's what Barkley was really saying without saying it directly. LeBron is evaluating his options. The current situation isn't meeting his expectations, and history has shown us that when LeBron James isn't satisfied with where he is, he doesn't stick around just out of loyalty. He moves. He goes to where he has the best chance to win. That's been his entire career philosophy, and there's no reason to believe that's changed now. But there's another layer to this. Barkley also mentioned that this information isn't out in the media yet. That's crucial. That means whatever discussions or considerations are happening, they're being kept extremely quiet. This isn't some leaked story from a reporter's source. This is insider information that hasn't hit the mainstream yet. And the fact that Barkley is willing to hint at it on national television tells us that it's serious enough to warrant attention. The question everyone's asking now is, what exactly did Barkley hear? Did someone from LeBron's camp reach out? Did a front office executive let something slip? Is there a specific team already in conversations? We don't have those answers yet. But what we do know is that Charles Barkley doesn't make statements like this without having confidence in what he's heard. Now let's talk about the evidence. Because if you've been paying attention, the signs have been there all along. We just didn't want to see them. Or maybe we saw them but convinced ourselves they didn't mean anything. But now, with Barkley's bombshell out in the open, suddenly all these little moments start making a lot more sense. First, let's talk about LeBron's recent interviews. Go back and watch them. Really watch them. Pay attention not just to what he's saying, but how he's saying it. There's been a shift in his tone over the past few months. When asked about the future, about his plans, about where he sees himself, LeBron's answers have been careful, calculated. He's not giving the definitive "I'm staying here" responses that you'd expect from a franchise player who's committed long-term. In a recent interview in January 2025, when a reporter asked LeBron about his plans beyond this season, his answer was telling. "I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on this team, this season, what we can accomplish. Everything else we'll handle when the time comes." On the surface, that sounds like a standard athlete response, but read between the lines. He didn't say, "I love it here." He didn't say, "This is where I want to finish my career." He said, "We'll handle it when the time comes." That's the language of someone keeping his options open. Then there's the body language during games. LeBron's always been an emotional player, someone who wears his feelings on his sleeve. And lately, the frustration has been visible. The head shakes, the long stares, the moments where he's clearly not happy with what's happening on the court. Now, every player has those moments, but with LeBron, it feels different this time. It feels like someone who's reached a breaking point. Social media has been interesting too. LeBron's always been active on Instagram and Twitter, but lately his posts have been more cryptic than usual. There have been quotes about knowing your worth and not settling for less than you deserve. There have been throwback photos to his championship years in Miami and Cleveland. These aren't random posts. LeBron is one of the most calculated social media users in sports. Everything he posts has a purpose. And right now, those posts feel like someone who's reflecting on his legacy and questioning whether his current situation is helping or hurting it. Let's talk about the team dynamics too, because that's a huge part of this story. The roster isn't what LeBron was promised when he made his commitment. Key players haven't developed the way the organization hoped. The supporting cast isn't a championship level. And for someone like LeBron, who's at the tail end of his career and trying to maximize every remaining season, that's a problem, a big problem. There have been reports, quiet ones that haven't gotten much attention, about tension in the locker room. Nothing explosive, nothing that's made headlines, but whispers about disconnect between LeBron and certain teammates. Whispers about disagreements with coaching decisions. Whispers about LeBron's inner circle expressing concerns about the direction of the team. Again, none of this has been confirmed publicly, but in the NBA, smoke usually means fire. And here's something else people aren't talking about enough. LeBron's son, Bronny, is in the league now. That changes everything. LeBron has made it clear that playing with his son is a priority for him before he retires. Right now, they're on the same team, which is beautiful. But what if the team decides to move in a different direction? What if they want to trade Bronny or send him to the G League? Do you really think LeBron is going to stick around if his son isn't part of the equation? The front office's silence on all of this is deafening. In January 2025, when reporters have tried to ask about LeBron's future and the team's plans, the responses have been generic and non-committal. We love having LeBron here. He's an incredible leader. We're focused on this season. But there's been no declaration of LeBron is staying, period. No contract extension talks being reported. No long-term commitment being announced. That silence speaks volumes. Add it all up, and you start to see the picture that Charles Barkley is painting. This isn't just speculation. This isn't just hot take television. There are legitimate signs that LeBron James might be seriously considering what's next. And the scary part for fans of his current team, all of these signs point to the same conclusion that Barkley hinted at. LeBron's future in LA is far from certain. The reaction to Barkley's comments has been absolutely wild. Social media exploded within minutes of him making that statement. Basketball Twitter went into full meltdown mode. Fans were divided right down the middle, and the debate has been raging ever since. On one side, you have the believers. These are the fans who've watched LeBron long enough to know his patterns. They remember the cryptic Instagram posts before he left Cleveland the first time. They remember the carefully worded interviews before the decision. They remember all the "I'm focused on this season" responses that came right before he announced he was joining the Heat. To them, Barkley's comments aren't shocking at all. They're confirmation of what they've been suspecting for months. "Chuck is 100% right and y'all just don't want to admit it," one fan tweeted. LeBron has done this before. He knows when it's time to move. The writing is on the wall and everyone's just ignoring it because they don't want it to be true. Another popular tweet read, "Barkley doesn't say stuff like this unless he knows something. He's got connections all over the league. If he's hearing rumors about LeBron leaving, then there's something to it. Don't shoot the messenger." But then you have the other side, the loyal fans who refuse to believe it could happen, the ones who think Barkley is just stirring up drama for ratings, the ones who point to LeBron's love for LA, his business ventures in the city, his family being settled there. To them, this is all noise. "Barkley stays hating on LeBron," one defensive fan posted. "He's been doing this for years, always trying to tear down the king. This is just another example of him making up drama where there isn't any." "LeBron isn't going anywhere," another fan confidently stated. "He's got roots in LA now. His family loves it there. His business empire is there. The man isn't picking up and leaving at 40 years old. Chuck is trolling and everyone's falling for it." The media has been all over this too. ESPN dedicated multiple segments to it. FS1's talking heads have been debating it nonstop. Podcasts have been breaking down every word Barkley said, analyzing it from every possible angle. Some analysts think Barkley is absolutely right and that LeBron is already exploring his options. Others think Chuck is just Chuck, making bold statements to generate conversation. One prominent NBA analyst said, "Look, I respect Charles Barkley, but I think he's reading too much into this. LeBron is comfortable in LA. Yes, the team has struggled, but that doesn't mean he's about to force his way out. He's not 30 anymore. He's not trying to chase rings by jumping from team to team. I think he finishes his career where he is." But another analyst had a completely different take. "I've been covering LeBron for 20 years, and I'm telling you, when Barkley says he's hearing things, that means conversations are happening. LeBron's camp is known for floating trial balloons, testing the waters, seeing how the public would react to certain scenarios. This could be one of those moments." The divide isn't just among fans and media either. Former players have weighed in, and even they can't agree. Some say LeBron has earned the right to do whatever he wants at this point in his career, and if that means leaving for a better situation, then so be it. Others say he should be loyal to the team that's built around him, that he should finish what he started. What's really interesting is how this is affecting the team itself. You have to imagine players are hearing this, coaches are hearing this, the front office is definitely hearing this, and it creates this weird tension where everyone's trying to stay focused on the present, but there's this massive elephant in the room about the future. How do you game plan for next season when you don't even know if your best player is going to be there? And here's the emotional core of all this. Fans are scared, real, genuine fear. Because if LeBron leaves, what does that mean for the franchise? What does that mean for championship hopes? What does that mean for the future? For a lot of fans, LeBron isn't just a player. He's the reason they started watching. He's the reason they bought jerseys and tickets. He's the identity of the team. Losing him would be devastating on a level that goes beyond basketball. But there's another emotion at play too. Anger. Some fans are angry that LeBron would even consider leaving, angry that after everything the team has done for him, he might just walk away, angry that loyalty doesn't seem to matter anymore in the NBA, angry that Charles Barkley would put this out there and potentially damage the team's chemistry and morale. The fallout from Barkley's bombshell is still unfolding. Every day there's a new tweet, a new take, a new piece of speculation. And until LeBron or his team addresses it directly, the debate is only going to get more intense. Because right now, nobody really knows what's going to happen. And that uncertainty, that's what's driving everyone crazy. So let's game this out. Let's look at the scenarios. Because if Charles Barkley is right, if LeBron really is considering his options, then what comes next could reshape the entire NBA landscape. Scenario 1. LeBron stays. He recommits to his current team, works with the front office to make changes, and decides to see his career through where he is. This is what a lot of fans are hoping for. It would mean stability, continuity, and a chance to build something sustainable. But here's the problem with this scenario. It requires the team to make significant improvements. They'd need to upgrade the roster, make strategic trades, bring in pieces that can actually help LeBron compete for a championship. And as of January 2025, there's no indication that the team has the assets or the willingness to make those kinds of moves. Without major changes, LeBron staying might just mean more years of frustration and underachievement. Scenario 2. LeBron requests a trade. This would be the nuclear option. LeBron has never formally requested a trade before. He's always orchestrated his moves through free agency, maintaining control of the narrative. But what if this time is different? What if the situation is bad enough that he wants out before his contract is up? If that happens, we're talking about one of the biggest trades in NBA history. Every contender in the league would be making calls, trying to put together a package. The chaos would be unprecedented. And for his current team, that would be a franchise-altering moment that they might not recover from for years. Scenario 3. LeBron plays out his current contract and then leaves in free agency. This is probably the most likely scenario if Barkley's information is accurate. LeBron would finish out this season, maybe one more, and then test the free agent market. It would be the decision all over again, except this time he's 40-plus years old and making what could be his final career move. Where would he go? What team could offer him the best chance to win one more championship? Would he prioritize playing with Bronny? Would he consider joining a super team? The possibilities are endless, and every single one of them would be a massive story. But here's what makes this all so complicated. LeBron's legacy. Everything he does at this point in his career is being viewed through the lens of how it affects his historical standing. If he leaves and wins another championship with a different team, does that add to his legacy, or does it reinforce the narrative that he can only win by team hopping? If he stays and doesn't win, does that hurt his legacy because he wasn't smart enough to leave a bad situation? There's no easy answer. Think about the ripple effects, too. If LeBron leaves, what happens to his current teammates? Guys who came there to play with him, who built their games around him. What happens to the young players who were supposed to learn from him? What happens to the coaches and the front office staff whose jobs depend on having LeBron? One player leaving could trigger a complete organizational overhaul. And what about the other teams? If LeBron becomes available, whether through trade or free agency, that changes every team's strategy. Suddenly, you have franchises trying to clear cap space, trying to put together trade packages, trying to position themselves as attractive destinations. The entire league starts moving in response to one player. That's the kind of power LeBron still has, even at 40. There's also the personal side to consider. LeBron has a family. His kids are settled, his wife has her life established, his business ventures are thriving where he is. Picking up and moving isn't as simple as it was when he was 25. The decision is bigger now. It affects more people. And that might be why, if Barkley is right, LeBron is being so careful and quiet about it, because this isn't just a basketball decision, it's a life decision. The timing is crucial, too. We're in late January 2025. The trade deadline is approaching. Free agency is months away. But decisions are being made right now that will determine what happens next. If LeBron's camp is having conversations, if they're exploring options, then these next few weeks are critical. Because once certain moves are made, once certain paths are chosen, there's no going back. The reality is, Charles Barkley didn't make that statement for no reason. He said what he said because he believes there's something to it, and whether LeBron ends up staying or leaving, the fact that we're even having this conversation tells you everything you need to know about where things stand. This isn't just speculation anymore. This is a real possibility that the entire basketball world is now preparing for.
So what's the truth? What's really going on with LeBron James and his future in LA? Here's what we know for certain. Charles Barkley, a Hall of Fame player with deep connections throughout the NBA, went on national television and suggested that LeBron's situation is not what it appears to be. He claimed to have insider information that hasn't reached the media yet, and he did it with a seriousness and conviction that made people pay attention. We also know that LeBron has a history of making calculated moves when he feels his current situation isn't conducive to winning championships. Cleveland, Miami, back to Cleveland, then LA. Each time there were signs. Each time people dismissed the rumors until they couldn't anymore. Each time LeBron proved that he's willing to do whatever it takes to put himself in the best position to succeed. The evidence supporting Barkley's claim is circumstantial but compelling. The cryptic interviews, the body language, the social media posts, the team's struggles, the front office's silence. None of these things definitively prove that LeBron is leaving, but taken together, they paint a picture of someone who's at least considering his options. And for a player of LeBron's caliber, considering options usually leads to action. But here's the thing we have to acknowledge. We don't have all the information. Whatever conversations are happening, they're happening behind closed doors. Whatever Barkley heard, he's not sharing the full details. We're all piecing together fragments, trying to see the full picture. And the truth is, we might not know what's really going on until LeBron himself decides to tell us. Was Barkley right to say what he said? That's a legitimate question. On one hand, he's bringing attention to something that could be a major story. He's giving fans a heads up that change might be coming. He's being honest in a way that a lot of people in the media aren't willing to be. But on the other hand, statements like that can create unnecessary pressure and drama. They can affect team chemistry. They can make a difficult situation even more complicated. What we can say with confidence is that LeBron James is at a crossroads. At 40 years old, he doesn't have many seasons left. Every decision matters. Every move has to be strategic. And if he's looking at his current situation and thinking it's not good enough, that it's not giving him what he needs to compete for championships, then history tells us he won't hesitate to make a change. The next few months are going to be fascinating. Whether LeBron addresses this directly or continues to stay quiet, whether the team makes moves to convince him to stay or accepts the change is coming, whether Barkley's bombshell turns out to be accurate or overblown, we're all watching. We're all waiting. Because this isn't just about basketball. This is about legacy, loyalty, ambition, and the final chapter of one of the greatest careers in sports history. And here's what makes this so compelling. Nobody really knows how it ends. Not the fans, not the media, probably not even LeBron himself yet. But Charles Barkley thinks he knows, or at least he's heard enough to believe that something's coming. And if Chuck's right, we're about to witness one of the biggest stories in NBA history unfold right before our eyes. So now it's your turn. Do you think Charles Barkley is right? Is LeBron really considering leaving LA? Or is this all just noise, manufactured drama designed to get people talking? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this debate is far from over. Are you Team Barkley or Team Loyalty? And more importantly, where do you think LeBron should go if he does decide to leave? Let's discuss. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all the latest NBA drama, controversies, and insider stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're bringing you the stories that everyone's talking about, the moments that define legacies, and the truth behind the headlines. Don't miss out. Subscribe now, and let's keep this conversation going.